We're recording. Hello, my name is Bryce Tubbs. With me today is Maurice the Sauce Myrick. His main phrase is, we rise by lifting others. These are, deeply rooted words with Maurice that he lives by to an absolute fault. And he's an award-winning speaker, author, and life coach. And he's committed to helping others through and on every stage. I'm extremely excited to be able to, share his story with you guys. I cannot wait to really learn a little bit more about him and, how we can, apply the sauce to our life, right?
Exactly. Yes.
Excellent. So, everybody has a story. What was life like before you got into this field, and what were either the events or the catalysts that got you into this field?
I can take it back to probably that very first moment. It was a Bible study on, a Wednesday years ago. And the pastor was asking for everyone to come up to kind of just talk about the story, right? As to some struggles they've been through and now where they're at in life. And this is one of the first occasions where, I was probably a few years already into Toastmasters, and they had a specific speech on trying to inspire the audience. Now, granted, I didn't go and try to get up there to inspire the audience. I just felt like I had a lot of things on my chest that I wanted to get off. But this is a moment where I got up here and I just let it all out, right? I let people know, about my past arrests I had in school and how that took a lot from me, right? Getting me kicked out of school and having to get back on track with that. And then still trying to overcome all these different traumas of losing loved ones throughout college, right? And then to graduate, then graduate magna cum laude, and then from magna cum laude into successfully having a stellar corporate professional career, through Fortune 500 companies. So just talking about these transitions in my life, right? And these ups and downs. But I think what I love so much about this moment was it was 2 to 3 years later, I would consistently get people from this Bible study. We probably had over 150 folks in this meeting. And periodically I would get someone from that meeting that said, hey man, like, I really appreciate you for getting out there and telling your story. And because of that, I gave my life to God. And for me to hear something like that, and that's probably the first time I had ever heard a compliment of that, capacity in any type of, scenario. So that really touched me and moved me, that because I spoke, somebody wanted to give their life to God. So I knew from there, that was the very first breadcrumb of understanding that, one, I shouldn't hold on to all these hurts and, past doubts and traumas that I've had in life internally, right? I should get them out. I should speak about them verbally, right? I've always been an outgoing individual, but those were times where I was always trying to suppress all these things that happened to me. And that was the first time I actually now verbalized it, right? So that showed me that, this is definitely something very purposeful for me to get out and be that imagery, be that example of, yes, we all go through shit, excuse my French, but we must, really strive to get over that, right? And to get over these past hurts, right? These past traumas and how they can trip us up in life, because we're always going to get that, right? We're always going to get these lemons, but it's like, how do you turn those into lemonade? So that's the kind of just a good snippet as to, that was that one pivot that I made in life to now encompass to who you're talking to today.
Okay, nice. Let me ask you this question. So, oh, wow, that's a very good one. Can you give some tips on how to tell your story, either communicate it better? Since you're a speaker, you're probably really, really great at telling a story.
I would say some really good tips. Well, first, let me set this as the foundation. A lot of people say, you hear that term, oh, I got a book in me, or I want to write a book. And a lot of people try to figure out, well, what should I write a book on? Well, I feel there is everyone that is living and breathing has a book readily available for them to talk about it anytime and every time they want to. And that book is about your life. That title is so unique because every step you take, even for me to go downstairs and come right back, right? No one else in this world has did that stuff except me, right? So I can talk about that through my journey. and it's an easy process, right? So I think from understanding kind of how to now portray that in certain mediums, it could be through books, it could be through poems, it can be through podcasts, it could be through something audio, right? Or apply whatever your story is to a different medium, right? And then incorporate it with your different senses, and then now you have a really good idea, right? I think that would be the best approach as to how to move forward. But if you use that kind of as your foundation for deciding on what at least one thing I know I can talk about and I know very well and doesn't take so much understanding and direction, right, to portray to other people, I think that's a great start. All right. Outside of that, I think if people are trying to understand topics, start to think about things that you're talking about or you're concerned about amongst friends, family, or even business partners. Think about some things you've had at the water cooler amongst your colleagues, right? Some good, healthy discussions you have about stuff. And see how you voice your opinion on these things, and see you can now take those opinions and now incorporate those into some type of speech. And from my Toastmasters background, we always would encourage you to, do, let's say, a starter speech between 4 to 6 minutes, or you can push it out between 6 to 10 minutes. But it doesn't take much, and it doesn't take much content to just really get out there. But what really matters is that you're there, you're present, and you're voicing it, right? It's coming through you and from you. And those emotions, that body language, the pitch, poise that you're bringing to that audience is what people value as well. And it's not just always about what you're trying, the specific topic, right? It's the emotions that we also obtain, right? Somebody could actually be feeling even how I told you about that Bible study from this video, years from now, right? Because this will now be on TV, right? But it's the fact that you can feel that emotion that I'm bringing to this, to this topic, to this question that you're asking.
Mm-hmm. So, let me kind of switch gears. So generally, what problem are people trying to solve when, they either listen to you or when they come to, work with you?
Well, I have to first, I think the main topic right now, we do understand the pandemic is going on. So the main issue right now is between stress, dealing with a lot of stress and anxiety. Right? Those are really top two. I see a lot of that amongst colleagues, the clients, and even as I'm diving into social media, you're starting to see this trend of people, subconsciously talking about how stressed they are about things. So I think that's one of the top two concerns for everyone, right? You may not always show it, but then those are now instances where subconsciously it's affecting you, spiritually it's affecting you, mentally it's affecting you, and then emotionally. Right? And those areas are where you really want to try to identify and see how you can cleanse, right? Cleanse them. You even have some physically who are starting to get obese, right? And overweight, right? And that's a physical representation as to what's going on. But I think those other areas are somewhat hidden, and it's hard to sometimes kind of pick on that for self to truly understand what's going on.
Okay. So what are some, techniques, or what are some things that people can do to start, to get an awareness of things they need to cleanse in the first place?
And first I'll start with the emotional intelligence. So that's, I think amongst scholars, it's becoming a common, understanding. But then as far as the masses, I think we're still maybe 1 or 2 years out from the masses truly understanding what emotional intelligence is. Mm-hmm. So I think from here, you have to gain this understanding of self-awareness, right? And that's the first important piece of emotional intelligence, right? Understanding, if I say between 40 different options of feelings that you could have in 1 second, can you specifically identify which emotion you're having at this moment? Are you happy? Are you sad? Are you rageful? Are you furious, right? Are you scared? Like, how are you truly feeling? So the first, example or exercise would be to just take a second to breathe, take a step back, and ask myself, how do I truly feel right now? If I could describe myself in 1 word, what word would that be? And that is the first part of discovery, and then leading into the self-management of saying, okay, now that I am sad, what do I need to do to be unsad? Mm-hmm. And it's as simple as that.
And the biggest part after that is, are you actually going to do what you need to do? So.
Yeah. Taking action. Yeah, exactly. Next step is action, always.
What do you think stops people from taking that action? Like let's say that they followed the first two steps. Now they know what they need to do. What do you think stops them sometimes from doing that?
And to be quite honest, when I do reach out to clients and friends, it seems like when you say the life coach tag, the first pushback you get is, oh, my life is fine. I don't need any help. So I think the main issue is the client or self is somewhat in denial as to what's truly going on. But then that could be very well just that's you kind of sitting within a space and that becoming your new normal. Like, let's say even here for the pandemic, right? Our new normal could be all video. And they're like, well, there were once a time where we would always be face to face. We would go to face to face cookouts. We would have face to face conferences, right? That was the normal. But since you got comfortable for 2-3 years of doing Zoom, you say, oh no, I'm fine with that. But think of more the joy you're getting from getting outside, right? Getting the sunlight, feeling the breeze, having that human interaction, and truly feeling and being present in the moment, right? Think about all those, right? So apply that to now not knowing what's on the other side of those hurts you may have, the other side of those traumas, those doubts, those fears, those dislikes and disbelief, right? You've now kind of somewhat given yourself this box of understanding that you need to try to pop the top off and truly branch out, right? To the possibilities of what if and what can be.
Hmm. Interesting. Cool. So, there's a couple of different places we can go next. I'm thinking about going.
Well, let's go. We can go there. We can go
Well,
Main Street. We can go Main Street.
I'm just thinking about like, right, because right now there's a lot of stress, a lot of anxiety, a lot of fear going on.
Exactly.
But a lot of people don't, first, they don't recognize which one of the three it is that they're actually feeling at the particular moment. But let's say that someone is very aware of what they're feeling. And, the main thing is stress. What are some things they can do to kind of either combat that, alleviate, accept, whatever, I don't know exactly what it is for you, but how they can actually like start to feel better?
Okay, I'll probably do it in two different ways. So let's say if the stress leads to now being furious, right, or rageful, would it hurt for you to invest into a punching bag and like just get that out, right? And a best example for me, when I was in corporate, my years of corporate, every Wednesday I would go to the weight room, right? I knew every Wednesday if I did not get to the weight room, like that stress was just going to consume me. So I'm hitting the bench press and I'm maxing out, right? But then I was playing basketball, so I was like, yo, if I do not dunk on anyone today, like I'm not going to be a happy camper. So that was a good way for me to get out anything I might have been furious about, right? This lifting weights. So finding something to channel that into, right? So I would say honestly that would be a really good way. If you really feel like you have to, go to a batting cage. Go to they now have these stress rooms you can go to, like a rage room where you can just go like, demolish like I don't know, a counter or something, like get on a volunteer to do a demo on like some Habitat for Humanity project, right? Like that's a good way to get your rage out, right? They would love you in the demo project, right? And I think other ways, if you are not rageful, let's say if you're consuming or bringing things, you're not talking about it, right? And this, I think, is always the best way, is to now piggyback whatever issues, or to be open, right? Do not get disengaged, right? You know how there's these moments where you might want to like clock out, right? You want to clock out, you want to disconnect from society, and that's never a great thing, because there's so much down that pit that it could very well be hard for you to get out of that, right? And nobody even know what's going on with you. So the number one thing here is to make sure you always have support around you, right? Or at least have that one person you can always count on. Like I even mentioned in my book, I feel everyone has that favorite cousin they can always count on, right? They're probably similar age. Like this is just your favorite cousin. You had amazing time or at your grandparents' house, or you're on vacation. Okay, as an adult, that's still the person you need to reach out to, right? My favorite cousin, I call her like every Sunday. I make sure we just do a check-in, 15, 20 minutes, because she understands me, right? She's known me my whole life, so I think that's the route more for the person who isn't rageful, because rage is something you can see, you can physically see someone is furiated, right? But sometimes, and I've been there, where something has hurt me so much, I haven't talked to anyone. But I know I could always count on my cousin to be there, be my support. So establish a really good, healthy support system that understands you and is positive, bringing encouraging words, right? And want to see you get out of that, right? And maybe even someone willing to drive, 8-10 hours across the country to make, like, if you ask them to be there, right? That's the type of individual you want to be around or have in your back pocket to depend on in these type of moments.
You touched a little bit on your book. Can you talk a little bit more about what that's about, where maybe someone can go get it?
Okay. Got it right here. Okay, so I just newly published self-help book. It is called Lemonade: Positivity, Purpose, and the Meaning of Life. This book goes off of the saying of, when life throws you lemons, you make lemonade, right? It's a culmination of various life events. So I know for everyone in corporate America, we would always hear that terminology, but it's a culmination of different life events that I've gone through in life, right? All throughout school, I had over eight passings in my family. Some of those passings were due to suicide. I had friends pass away from suicide. Also had an arrest in college, right? I was arrested, right? And I also noticed in college and into my professional career, I had childhood traumas and child abuse that actually now led into my corporate career, right? So I started to see how that affected me in so many different ways, right? Until I now sought out help and support, right? To get that removed from me, to get that detached, right? To forgive, forgiveness, right? To have those things and all this resentment built up, and to understand that it's okay to let things go, right? And then move forward, because your past does not make that determination as to what your future will be, right? So this book is 11 chapters of awesomeness, I like to say, but it talks about, it doesn't matter what the life event is, it's the fact that your heart has took a hit, right? Your subconscious has took a hit. You physically may have taken a hit, but how do you get over that? How do you instill really good exercises, good principles and practices and tools, and beneficial resources to really help you get over wherever that thing is in your life? And this is coming from a personal perspective and also from a certified, professional life coach perspective too. So I'm putting in tools and principles that are effective. And then I'm also giving you these one-on-ones as to, okay, now this is how it affected me, right? So you could very well be in this space right now. So, I would advise you to do this or get this type of resources, or lock into a one-on-one session with me. And to close, to purchase the book, I would like for you guys, if I could probably get 10 of you guys on that's watching this video right now, I'd love for you to go to heisthesauce.com/shop. And the book is available there for ebook and also paperback.
Nice. Also, where can people go to either learn more about you and to connect with you?
Awesome. Well, due to pandemic, I'm on all streams now, and I'm working on Pinterest too. But you could catch me. I spend a lot of time on the Facebook. It's the He is the Sauce is the hashtag, and then also on Instagram, you can catch me there as well. And feel free to reach out. I'm easily accessible, and also you can email me at it's WOW at heisthesauce.com. But we'd definitely love to connect with you, get an understanding as to what's going on, and set up a consultation, because every day and every moment in your life should be joyful. You should be just as joyful as that little baby boy or baby girl that was born into this world, right? But think about all the pitfalls, all the fears, all the cultural, misnorms that kind of put in place to now paint a certain picture for you, that you started to put yourself in that box. So get out of that frame of mindset, make the paradigm shift, and that's will now get you to a very beneficial and enjoyable state in your life.
Excellent. Thanks so much for your time today. I really appreciate, listening to some of your insights and your wisdom.
Awesome. Well, I really appreciate you. Thank you for having me. And you have to tell me about those guitars, man. I'm interested to see you play. I hope they're not just painting, like just on the wall, just because like you rock out a little bit?
My brother does. He's a professional.
Oh, yes. Okay. Okay. Right on,
He
man.
just store all the music stuff at my house for when he comes
Ah,
in town.
it started.
Yeah.
All right, that's good. Well, hey, man, I really thank you. Thank you for the opportunity to get on your show. Outside of this book, too, if you guys really felt like that emotional intelligence spoke to you, this is also another good book. You see, Emotional Intelligence 2.0. And like I say, I think amongst, you know, somewhat corporate, but still more in a scholarly level, emotional intelligence is that it thing. Emotional intelligence is that solution to mental health, right? Or the mental health we see on media, we see in TV, we see the pitfalls. The solution for that is emotional health. So I would encourage you to find more information about it. And if you would like to get a session, we can also talk about that as well as to how we can implement it.
Nice. So, thank you for those watching. Really appreciate your time today and hopefully glean some, valuable insight out of this conversation. If you want to go and join a community where people are improving themselves and helping others do the same every day, I recommend that you go and check out our community. Basically, it's a mastermind. People are coming together, uplifting and supporting each other. So if that is what you've been looking for, I recommend you go check out the links either above or below the video. Hopefully you enjoyed watching this as much as we enjoyed creating it. Feel free to hit the share button so other people can get some value as well. Have a great day, guys. Talk to you soon and see you later. We're done recording in 3 and 2.